guys, what's up? It's me, Boa Athu, and you are on Straight Up. Well, guess what? Season 2019 for the Singer Schools or the Sri Lanka Schools Rugby is done and dusted. It is a wrap, and we're just about to roll on into the knockout or the business end of the Milo President's Trophy. So this episode, we are going to have a look at few key facts and stats from this season, and if you want to find out what they are, join me next. Okay, so the first stat we're going to look at is the two-horse race. That's right, Royal and St. Peter's. These two teams over the last couple of seasons have now really started to form what I would call a true match race. So that means they're both going stride for stride and neck on neck. Royal obviously went back to back to back, doing the three-peat or the hat-trick of league titles, and St. Peter's pretty much last year battled them out in the last game to decide who wins the league, and they lost out. This year it was slightly different. Royal played St. Joseph's. They had to score a 4-try bonus point to win the league, and that's exactly what they did. So from a numbers perspective, Royal last year scored 50 tries and St. Peter's 37. So that was an average of 5.5 tries per game for Royal and 4.1 tries for St. Peter's. This year, Royal scored 39 tries and an average of 4.3, and St. Peter's scored exactly that. That means Royal scored 11 tries lesser than last year, and St. Peter's scored 2 tries more. And what's more, the points differential was more in the favor of St. Peter's. So this is a clear trend that Royal have slightly dropped their performance, but St. Peter's have improved. So what's really exciting is, will we see a third season going stride for stride? And StatSpurt says the answer is yes. Okay, so the next thing we're going to look at is the slide of St. Joseph. St. Joseph's, as you know, were part of a 3-horse race. In my early mail, I tipped them as one of the key favorites. But unfortunately, as they came to the latter part of the season in the second round, they had a terrible slide of form. In fact, they lost 4 games in a row, which is extremely unusual for a side of this quality. So it means that they have much work to do. And as StatSpurt predicted, the slide started against the game when they lost to Wesley. Next up, we're going to look at a few instances or few key outcomes which StatSpurt got bang on the money. Now, the first one, building on what I said just before, was Wesley defeating St. Joseph's by 5 points or less. Now, this whole prediction came about looking at the form Wesley was showing as opposed to the form St. Joseph's was showing. Now, what I tend to do is I look at playing patterns, key players, and understanding how two sides, when they play each other, what is the most likely scenario. Number 2, of course, the final outcome where I said Royal would score 4 tries and the bonus point to defeat St. Joseph's and win the title. That's exactly what happened. And again, guys, this is all about styles and matchups, and of course Royal were very, very dominant in the set piece as opposed to St. Joseph's, who are very good at broken play. The next thing I have to say is I'm going to take your mind back to the Bradby Shield first leg. Now, in my straight up first 15, my number 13 or outside center, I named Harsha Samarasinghe as my starting option. Well, guess what, guys? Have a look at this. Have a look at the audio and the video. You can see why we always get our predictions right.
Trying to go in for the corner. Yes, he is. Harsha Samarasinghe for the try. What a fantastic ball and what a fantastic finish.
Now then, we will have another look at the Kandy Rebellion. Now, as I said before in last week's episode, we have 5 teams from Kandy who will represent the upcountry in the A division. That's obviously Vidyartha, Trinity, St. Anthony's, Dharmaraja and Kingswood. This season proper, especially in the second round, we saw some incredible rugby from these teams. They went side to side, they ran the ball, it was attack, 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 and it was some very enterprising rugby, especially Vidyartha and Dharmaraja, who made some tremendous strides. And of course, that game which decided the plate title between St. Anthony's and Kingswood. Wow, what an incredible game that was. Both teams went hammer and tong, and it was blow for blow. We had a very, very entertaining game. In fact, I would say that would be the game of the season. And of course, I have to give a quick shout out to Sri Sumangala College Kandy. Now, I know they've lost all their games and they ended bottom of the table. However, they played some very, very entertaining rugby, and I got to commend them. Okay, so last but not least, I'm gonna quickly touch on the knockout or the Milo President's Trophy. As you know, both Royal and St. Thomas's have pulled out, and this has caused a bit of a stir. In fact, the Schools Rugby Association and its president have now threatened sanctions against non-participating teams. I guess this year is a very difficult situation. After the Easter attacks, we had that delay. However, every tournament is equally important, and you have to understand Milo, the sponsor, are probably the hardest hit. If there's a problem with scheduling, and I know the GCE A-level examination has been brought up, as you know, with the delay, that means lesser study or academic time, I think the association might want to seriously look at rescheduling this after the A-level so that every team participates. And right now, it's a bit of a hollow tournament because the reigning league triple champion Royal College are missing, and really guys, without Royal, this tournament is pretty much a second-rate tournament. And I hate to say this, you know, it's an easy way to win a trophy or some silverware. It shouldn't be the case. So this is something I think the authorities and all the schools need to decide well in advance, because the A-level is very common for all schools, and we have to get this sorted out. That's it, pretty much me, and that's a wrap for this episode of Straight Up Rugby. And here's a quick shout out to Statsford. That's right, if you're a school, if you're a club, if you want to achieve your true potential and get some cutting edge world class analysis, myself, experts, and I at Statsford can help you. All you gotta do is hit us up via email, stats@consultant.com, stats@consultant.com. And guess what, guys? I will see you soon.